Nvidia is set to report earnings. It is the news of the day, so let's take a look at the chart and see what is unfolding into this earnings release and check in on some forecasts I recently shared. If you're new here, I'm Hema Reddy and I use price action, market timing, yep, the bottom axis down below, and momentum, my RSI Power Zones indicator, to boost my trading and that of my tribes. So here we are with the Nvidia daily chart, and you can see with the recent action that we've been consolidating under this 974 peak from March. Most recently, there was a platform low at 887 or 885, very close to both those levels, so 885.29. And today's action thus far, okay, having pierced the May 16th high, brings our focus into 918.06 as an important short-term level. So these are the very close by support and resistance I would monitor on the daily chart. Notice we are pulling up and away from my triple moving average filter. I detail those settings and values in the 4 zones RSI coverage system and basically just awaiting the news. But let's go look at this on an intraday chart to see what's unfolding and look at some recent forecasts I had made. All right, so this is the 60-minute chart of Nvidia, and you can see these little X marks the spots right here, okay? Those are previous forecasts I had made that were magnets pulling price right to them. So here you can see this was pulling price up into the right. That was useful. This was pulling price down into the right. And most recently, I had made a forecast for further upside in Nvidia. And this yellow line marks when I made the forecast. Do you want to see how it unfolded? Okay, here we go. The forecast was for price to trade up higher into about 990 into 1 p.m. on May 14th. Now, it didn't get there in that time, but it did start to approach that level and started backing off later. So this was still a magnet pulling pricing up and to the right, even though it wasn't hit on the nose. And the best part of my approach to forecasting that I teach in the loss forecasting trading system is that I teach you how to navigate those misses. Because there is a objective, simple trend assessment tool that would have helped you guide your way out of this move lower when it began. Now let's look at where the current price action is. Basically consolidating with this range high here that was recently tested but not broken above. And as I shared from the daily chart, this support down below. So you might be wondering, well, is there a new forecast? Yes, I can draw one. And I need to share it with the caveat that when Nvidia reports earnings, it tends to have big gaps in the market, so big jumps in the action. So be careful, okay? This is not a time to make a new trade, but if you're monitoring this stock or you trade it regularly, this is a very important time to pay attention to not just what happens before the earnings and right after, but for the next day or two. All right, I'll take a moment here and bring you a forecast. All right, here you have it. Into 2 p.m. on Friday, May 24th, there's an expectation, a forecast for shares to trade up to about 994. Now, again, we're on the verge of earnings, so there may be gaps or action that pushes us out beyond these. But that's not necessarily going to happen in a way that makes the forecast not useful. So again, the loss forecasting trading system teaches what to do when forecast misses, if that's the case. Now, this is sitting out here, but I talked about how in the daily chart we were up against longer term resistance and we have this important support here. So if Nvidia shares weaken and break below 918.06, then we have some important levels down below to monitor. I would first assess those by looking at the midpoint of the entire range from the current low to the current high, which on the 60-minute chart is 858.13. And notice this is actually very close to a previous gap on the 60-minute chart. So when you find multiple price levels that come together like this, that's called confluence. And that is really helpful to find the most potent areas of price support and price resistance. And in the big picture, there are larger, longer term targets that I have for Nvidia based on advanced loss forecasting methods that I will be sharing at today's Advanced Monthly Group Coaching Live, held at 4:30 Eastern today, Wednesday, May 22nd, for our advanced RSI Power Zone students and advanced loss forecasting students. So there you have it. I'll look at the recent forecast we had for Nvidia, what is coming up ahead in terms of the forecasts, and what levels to monitor as the earnings come out. If you find this helpful or get a refresher in any techniques, please give this video a like, drop a comment down below, and I'll catch you next time.